Okay. All right, everybody, this is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. I'm giving everybody a few seconds to get in here, get the chat room up, jump through all the hoops. All right, everybody. Tonight we've got a number of different things we're going to be working on. We've got a lot of civil unrest, both in London and Paris, two different countries, and we're going to be talking about all that. I've got some live shots up right now, and trying to see. That center one on the right is supposed to be Paris, but it looks like France. So I'm not sure. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I might have to change the caption on that one. But there you go. We've got live. These are not live. I'm being honest right up front. Notice they all say earlier. These were from earlier. It is dark over there now, so these can no longer be live. They're all being portrayed as live, of course. But they're not. I'm in a pretty bad way tonight, so I'm only going to be here for an hour or so. Hey, Marjorie and Bill, how you guys doing? Yes, everything did change September 10th. I actually believe that we've reached the turning point. It's kind of ironic. All Charlie ever wanted to do was bring positive change to the youth, and he's doing it now in such a big way. It's kind of crazy. All right, it's a shame he had to give his life to do it. That's the bad part. There's a revolution started. I've never seen anything like it. Turning Point USA has raised multiple millions of dollars just in the last couple days. They've gotten over 18,000 requests for campus clubs for high schools, colleges, universities, and trade schools all across the United States. They've got all kinds of new donors. They've got all kinds of new activists that are going to help them. They've got all kinds of students that want to get involved and create a chapter in their school. It's kind of funny because the person that did this wanted to shut down the message of Charlie Kirk. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to shut down the message. Why Charlie Kirk? Because he's the most effective one. Of all the debaters, of all the people that goes around, of all the different, pundits and talking heads and radio stars and TV news guys, and you know what? Out of all of them, he was the best. He was the best debater in the country when it came to stuff. He was just really, really good. And that's why he was killed. It's bottom line. He was killed not necessarily even for his opinions as much as because he was effective at delivering it. That's the bottom line. He was effective at delivering it, and therefore he was killed for it. But what they've done is they've awakened a beast. And I think that the liberal indoctrination that's been going on in our colleges and high schools across the country is coming to a screeching halt. Our university here, FGCU, or FUGU as we call it, FGCU, I prefer FUGU, it's easier, but they refuse to allow a Charlie Kirk vigil on campus. And it was reported by my news agency and my station as well that this and all the other local newscasts, they all got in on it and reported that FUGU was not going to allow the Charlie Kirk presentation or candlelight vigil on their property. Then the heat started. Then the backlash. And then the bullshit and everybody else getting pissed. And then what happened was they ended up rolling over and saying, look, it was only because of, security concerns, and we didn't know about parking, and it was short notice. I call it college-splaining, but you can call it what you want. But that's what it was. It was college-splaining. They were trying to come up with every reason in the world. And then finally they rolled over completely and said, okay, have it here. And the organizers went, screw you. You said no. We said no. Screw you. And so they had it last night at the Estero Park, big, beautiful county park that we have down there. And they had it there, and everybody showed up, and there was plenty of room. But boy, Fug You is really, really taking the bad end of the stick. Even though the latest news stories are reporting that they are now allowing it, but it was too late to switch the venues and all that. Oh yeah, Heath, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, they took a future leader from us. I mean, he would have been great, I think, as a president, because he's a moderate. I think that this is what people on the left that don't actually sit and listen to Charlie Kirk, this is what they don't understand. He's not a radical right-winger. He's not a overly conservative, crazy guy. We're talking about a moderate here. He was moderate. Look, if he was a radical, why would he let all of the people that wanted to speak against him speak first? He let them all speak. Every time they all got to speak. His supporters weren't allowed to speak because, it's all that's his viewpoint. So he wanted to hear everybody else's opposing viewpoints. That's what radicals don't do that. He was a moderate. He didn't believe in radical right-wing stuff. He believed in your standard run-of-the-mill right-wing stuff. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line there. He didn't, And so we had a guy call the show today, and he said, hey, or no, he texted the show. He said, hey, he's always talking about Jesus Christ and religion, therefore he has to be a radical. What? So you're a radical just because you love Jesus Christ now? Really? That used to be pretty damn normal. You know what I mean? And now they consider that to be radical. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I tell you that I don't want to say this in a rude way, but I need to say what I need to say. If they wanted to hurt the conservative movement by shooting Charlie Kirk, they failed, because what they've done is strengthened the conservative movement tenfold. They've grown. Charlie's group, the Turning Point USA, has grown exponentially twice in 3 days. So if the target was to shut down the conservative talk in our universities, you've missed the mark. What you've created now is 1,000 Charlie Kirks. I'm telling you. It's good. The people that think this is great, the 2 airline pilots that were fired, the 9 teachers that were fired from the school here, the hospital administrator that was fired, the employees at Office Depot that wouldn't print the vigil posters. It's going on all over the country. We got politicians that won't even show up for a candlelight vigil. They're congressmen. And they won't even show up for a candlelight vigil for a man that was that did politics. I mean, it's just crazy when you think about it. He wasn't never mean or ugly. Always the calm voice in the room. That's another thing people don't like. If you debate and they cannot make you upset, you're an asshole. Because that's the only thing they got at the end of the day, is the ability to try to make somebody upset. Because when you're arguing, I hate to say this, but a lot of times these radicals on the left, when they come in and start arguing, they're arguing from absurdity. And they're arguing with someone who's arguing from reason and logic. And yeah, it's not going to go well for them, you know? I mean, one guy says, hey, there's men and there's women. And the guy on the other side of the table goes, no, there's 73 genders. Who sounds crazy now? And by the way, I am a libertarian. I think you can do whatever you want with whoever you want. I'm one of these people. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're bi. I don't care if you're a straight. I don't care if you're a lesbian. I don't care if you're LGBTQIA2S plus. But I don't care. Do we have to talk about it every day? You know, I seriously. They walk up and they go, hi, I'm a lesbian and I'm two-spirited and I'm cisgendered and I'm white, but I'm also like, American, whatever, Native American, and I've got 1/1000th Native American. And when they get all done, it's like, should I introduce myself that way? Hi, I'm Ian. I screw chicks and I'm white. Sounds pretty stupid when I say it, doesn't it? What do I care what you do in your bedroom? I don't care what you suck. I don't care what you lick. I don't care. I'm sick of fucking hearing about it, to be honest with you. I wish people would go away with it. It's not that I'm against any of it. Why does it have to be put in front of our children when they're 10 years old? Why do those books have to be in the middle school library? All I'm asking for is civility here, okay? That's all. And Charlie Kirk was the same way. He was not against gay people. This is the thing that bugs me so much about this, is they keep saying, he's anti-gay. He's anti-gay. Of course, they call him a Nazi and everything. People just say whatever nowadays. He's anti-gay. Charlie Kirk has never been anti-gay. He's pro-freedom. He's never once told a man, you shouldn't be with another man. He's never once said anything other than truth through statistics, truth through fact. And I understand that there's some things you can say that are 100% true and you're still racist. There's stuff you can say that's 100% true, but you're still sexist. And I'm sick of that. I think you should be able to say the truth and not be worried about being called things. All right? Years ago, we were all worried about being called queers, right? You bunch of queers. Nowadays, I don't care what they call me anymore. It's funny, as you get older, it doesn't matter, right? And now I support people being gay. I want, if you're gay, I want you to do what makes you happy with another human being that makes you happy. You don't need to introduce yourself with it at the ball. You don't need to walk up to the podium and tell people, I'm a cisgender. I don't care. You're a dude, you're a woman, whatever you dressed as, I'll respect that. But we don't need to hear about it or worry about it all the time. It's like it's become the center of every conversation. And I don't, race or sex, or both. Well, she's a lesbian and she's a black female. Who cares? You know what? Truly not being racist is not caring about race. Some of these people that are out there bitching about racism are the most racist people in our community. Okay, I don't know what's going on, Green Mountain. You might want to click live instead of top chat, click live chat. I am in live chat and I don't see, I'm looking, I can see all the activity in my chat room and I don't see anything has been removed by my moderators. Yeah, Junior, I've only got two, 3 mods in here. Nobody's removed anybody's posts, guys. We're free speech. I try not to remove posts. We try really hard not to do it. And we haven't. I think the biggest takeaway from this whole thing this last couple days is, what is the First Amendment? This is so important. Just give me 5 minutes and I'll move on to something else. What is the First Amendment? It's the prime directive. It's the number one rule of the land. And what does it say? It says we have free speech. It says we're guaranteed free speech. Doesn't it? No, not really. What it says is the government can make no law stopping our free speech. What the Constitution does is it provides your rights and their rules. The Constitution is not statutes. You can't violate the Constitution. You can't. Only the government can violate the Constitution because the Constitution is a rule for government. We kept hearing for 2 days, that airline can't fire those pilots. First Amendment, First Amendment. First Amendment doesn't apply to Delta Airlines. They're not government. The First Amendment doesn't apply to companies. If you walk in let's say I got a company, okay, and I sell widgets, and you go out and you go on social media and say, my boss Ian's widgets are garbage, I'll fire you the next day. You do not have free speech when it comes to your work. My God, I can't believe people actually thought that. The Constitution only applies to government. Local, city, county, state, federal government. That's it. Does not apply to businesses. They're allowed to censor your speech. Your boss can tell you when you're at that counter serving my customers, you will not discuss politics. You will not say anything negative about this company. And if you do, I'll fire you. Perfectly legal. Perfectly legal in all 50 states. Unless you're in one of these big union states and you're in some big union and then they'll never get rid of you. So basically, if you can just take this to the water cooler tomorrow, okay, when you're talking to your friends, it's important that we all reaffirm that the First Amendment and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, all the same thing, refers to the government. It's a set of rules for the government. It governs what happens on public right-of-ways. It governs what happens in front of the courthouse. It governs what happens on the steps of City Hall. It governs what happens in city parks. But it doesn't govern what happens inside your workplace if you work in the private sector. And it does not protect you from the consequences. You can go into a theater and yell fire. You can. It's protected. However, the consequences are still yours. I know that's crazy. You have the right to go into a theater and yell fire, but the consequences are yours. You will suffer the consequences. You'll be arrested for creating a danger, for endangerment of the public or some bullshit. Yeah, Bill, I'm telling you, dude, we've had people calling the show. This is bullshit. Them bosses ain't come on. No, your boss can fire you for anything. It's a right to work state, first of all. You work at the pleasure of your boss's ass. All right? And I'm telling you, if he wants to fire you, he can fire you. If my boss wants to fire me, he can fire me. They've laid me off once and brought me right back because they didn't need me. It happens. Never been fired, though. That would be new. I pretty much know what I can say and what I can't say. I can go into work and say anything I want. But if I go on the air and start shit talking my boss upstairs, I'm probably going to be out of a job and probably should be. Christ. There you go, Junior. I think from now on, we should walk into every room and go, hi, I'm Ian, I'm Caucasian, and I'm straight as fuck. I think we should walk in and say that I do chicks, man, and it's awesome. That's what we should say. We should be allowed to say that. Hi, everybody. I'm a cisgendered normal male, and I like doing chicks mostly at night and in beds. Sounds pretty stupid when I say it, doesn't it? But they'll come on and tell you all about it. Oh, I do this and I feel like that and I'm spirited this and I'm licking that. And I don't care. I'm black, I'm Indian, I'm white. I don't care about that either. I work with people of every race, every gender, and probably almost every one of those acronyms too. LGBTQIA2S. But I think I work with all those too at the TV station. We all get along great. I don't understand it. But they also don't walk into my control room and say, "Hi, I'm new. I'm Bob. I'm a transgender male. I'm mostly white, but I've got some." That's the Green Mountain. That is the consequences I'm talking about. I have the right to walk down the street and say whatever I want. But if I walk up to some guy's wife and call her a "see you next Tuesday," he's going to punch me right in the mouth, and I probably deserve it. That's the consequences. I had the right to say it. The Constitution doesn't protect you from any consequences or illegality that comes from your speech. It simply says that the government cannot stop you from doing it. And then once you do it, you get punched in the mouth, whatever. The First Amendment doesn't apply to Jack on the street. It doesn't apply to your employer. It doesn't apply to anybody. You don't have the right to walk in a movie theater and make a proclamation. It's a business. They're going to ask you to leave. If that doesn't work, they'll call the cops and you'll be trespassed. And I believe in that. It's private property. I mean, I try to be so reasonable about this stuff. I try to be Charlie Kirkian about this stuff. Because, you know what? The truth is, the calm person in the room that addresses every concern one after the other like he did, that's how it has to be done. Calm debates and getting people on. We like to get opposing viewpoints. You know something Trey does? We've had a rule. We talked about this tonight on the radio. We have a rule on our show. It's been there since day one when we sat down and put the show together 8 years ago. We sat down in a room with a consultant and the station manager and the owner and the PD and that's program director and Trey and I, and we all sat down in a room and we put the show together. And you know, one of the things Trey insisted on right from the beginning, if they don't like me, they call me names, they think I'm an asshole, they disagree with my point of view, they want to yell at me, they get highlighted in yellow and I take them first. And we've had that policy for 8 years now. If they call up, "You know what, your host is an absolute prick, hang on, you're next." And you know what happens every time? They hang up, they chicken out. They chicken out. We had a guy chicken out tonight. Yeah, I'm sick of the politically correct bullshit. I was tolerant of some of the woke stuff at first. I'm fine with it as long as it doesn't get to where it's affecting everything in everybody's life, but it has. And I'm. It's like, okay, it's like you give an inch, they take a mile. It's like, okay, hey, I'm Bob. I want to identify as Jane. I want to be a girl now. Okay, I was okay with that. I'm fine with that. Okay? Just dress up like a girl, come to work and get your job done. But don't go walk into every room you walk into. "Hi, I'm transitioning." Nobody cares. Nobody cares what junk you got in the trunk. I think that's the problem is we passed fair a long time ago. All these things that passed fair a long time ago. All right, so let's move on. I don't want to talk about this stupid shit all night. Burgers for breakfast. I agree. I'm one of these people. I eat whatever I feel like. I don't like, "Oh, that's breakfast food," or "Oh, that's like." I'll cook corned beef, hash, and eggs for dinner. I'll make a hamburger for breakfast. I don't give a shit. I eat whatever I want to eat. I'm the human. I'm in charge. I tell my cats that too. I'm the human. I'm in charge. Just let me deal with it. Yep, I agree. All right, so tonight we got Unrest going on, and you know this is kind of a weird thing because this unrest, a lot of it is going on because, despite what the captions say, anti-government, it's anti-violating free speech. I don't know if you guys know what's going on over there. Both of these protests, the London one specifically, but both are because the government is infringing upon their free speech. You know, the I can't remember the name of it, but over in England, in the UK, they have a Charter of Rights there. In Canada, they've got a Charter of Rights there. It's very similar to our Constitution. All of them are losing it. It's going away. They're losing their free speech. They're arresting people now for saying offensive things. And you know what's messed up? According to the law now in London, if I say something on this show in the United States and I offend a bunch of people over in the UK, they can issue a warrant for my arrest. Now, the United States is probably not going to cooperate, and I know the state of Florida won't. But they're issuing warrants for people's arrest over here because they said something online that offended their people over there. And I'm sick of that. Words are not weapons. Sticks and stones. Remember that? I mean, we were all taught sticks and stones, right? I don't understand why these governments, the UK, London, and also Paris, France. I mean, France. They are pissing all over their people. The London one, it's all wrapped up it's pro free speech, but also anti-immigration. They're having the same immigration problem there that we're having here, but it's even worse. It's been going on longer. We stopped our problem. We stopped the bleeding here. Believe it or not, we've gone from I don't know. I mean, I think we're down to 5% of what we had coming across the border under the last president. We have shut this almost completely down, illegal border crossings. And we got to stop what's going on before it turns into this mess. And that's kind of why I'm showing this tonight. They really don't like recycle containers over there. Can you guys see that? Look at they're really mad at the recycle container. We're not recycling no more, god damn it. Hey, they're attacking the police with recycle I'm not recycling ever again. You could take this recycle bin and shove it. And the poor guy there. I mean, look at these cops. Here they go with the tear gas. Yep, there we go. Poof. Flashbangs. You know what? The protesters handle it completely wrong. You want to know what else? The government handles it completely wrong. The police handle it completely wrong. And the media handles it completely wrong. And the bystanders that aren't directly involved handle it completely wrong. Protesting is it's a shit show is what it is. It's an absolute shit show. Okay? It's these people that don't like the way the government's doing something. So they're going to protest. I agree with that. But then your anarchists show up and it turns into this. And then your anti-recyclers show up and attack the cops with recycle bins. Green Mountain, that is my concern. We are a mirror of Europe's past, basically. Whatever happens in Europe, especially Western Europe, will happen here in 10 or 15 years. And that's what worries me. Canada is a little further along than we are. But we have to prevent that from happening. Hold on, Eddie wants it. Come on, Eddie. Come on, baby. What you doing, big man? Come on up and say hi. Say hi to everybody. It's Ed Earl. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Earl. Isn't that right? You gonna talk to him? You gonna say anything? You're awfully quiet for a co-host. You know that? You really should say more. What do you think? You think you should say a little more? This is my boy right here. I know, buddy. He sleeps with me. He's got a little spot right next to my pillow. I mean, it's one of those kind of things. And he just, I don't know, he's a very personable cat. And he wasn't like that at first. It's taken him years. Some cats, they can turn into like intimate lovers right off the bat. I mean, they're rubbing all over you. They love you. Other cats like him, it took him 5 years to get like this, 6 years. And then he just started loving people. He did his own thing for years. He'd come in, get fed, we'd pet him, we'd say hi. But then all of a sudden, he started wanting to come in, wanting to sleep with us at night. He wanted to start hanging out with the humans, and he wanted to get shack privileges and be able to come in here anytime he wants, which he's kind of earned, but he still screws up with the keyboards sometimes. I have to train them not to step on the keyboards, and it's difficult because I don't use any kind of physical discipline, so it's mostly just saying, get off the keyboard. It would suck to get trapped under a pile of recycle bins. I thought that was pretty funny. Look at those cops. There they go again. They're attacking them. I think that's the same clip again or what, but look at that, man. They ain't messing around. They're sick of recycling over there. I ain't doing it no more. You want to know what I'm doing here? You want to hear something funny? I watched out there about 6 months ago, and I noticed that there's only one garbage truck going down the street. Now, we have a horticulture truck that comes on Friday. We have a recycle truck that comes on Friday with the auto lifter thing, and we have the garbage truck that comes on Friday, which is a rear loader. Okay, 3 trucks, no problem. So they changed the day to Friday, and they put everything on the same day. Now I'm like, why do they put it all on the same day? It doesn't make sense to have 3 different kinds of trucks operating in the same small neighborhood at the exact same time. You know what they're doing? I watched them pick up my recycle and put it in the garbage can. Put it in the garbage truck. Garbage truck came down. They put my garbage in the back of it. They dumped my horticulture in the back of it. And then they brought over my recycle bins and they dumped that in the back of it too. I'm like, you mother effers. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I tried to stop the guy. I said, hey, is it just me or did you I just separated all my garbage out for you guys. I put the number 9 through 17 plastics and the super this and not that, but not this, but not that, and some of this, but not that. I did it just like they said. I had the horticulture in 1 can. I had the garbage in 1 can. I had the recycle in 2 cans. And they're the ones some of them they provide, some I provide. Anyway, so I went out to talk to the guy and he drove away. He saw me coming, but he drove away because they don't like talking to customers. So I waited till the following week and I'm like, oh my God, I did it again. So I started going back on the cameras and checking. And I had about 4 weeks on the cameras. And I went back and ran through each Friday until I found the garbage truck, come around 11 o'clock every morning. And they're loading my recycle into the garbage and my horticulture into the garbage truck. Every week. That's it. That's it. I took the horticulture bin and put it away. And I throw whatever I throw out, I throw it in whatever I want. I don't care. My recycle bins sit out here. They're full of food. I throw everything in there. I shit in there. I don't care. I dump all the cat litter in the recycle bins. Piles and piles of cat shit and piss. And I dump it all in the recycle bin. And I looked out there the other day and they're emptying it into a recycle truck. I'm like, oh shit. So now I don't know, should I go back to putting just like the number 9 through 17 plastics and the certain, should I go back to all the recycling rules, or should I just keep on going, just putting whatever I want in there? I don't know. But that's my recycle story. It's like, I'm not going to separate this shit out if you're just going to dump it all in the same truck. Whatever. We don't have a choice here on garbage. It's in our taxes. We pay it in our taxes. It's about $300 a year for garbage. It's about $300 a year. You get 52 pickups of all 3 things. It's actually pretty cheap if you want to get right down to it. Um, yeah. So there you go. That's my recycling. I recycle a bunch of cat shit through there, and go see how they like that. So now I guess I'll go back to putting mostly recycle in the recycle bins, but must really upset them people when they get that recycle truck back up in there and all that cat shit comes falling out. I don't care. I really don't. Um, yeah. Yeah, I know. There is definitely an attack on our freedom right now, but all we have to do is just keep fighting the good fight. You just have to keep fighting the good fight, and every time they censor you, deal with it, fight it. Isn't that right, Ed? That's right. Ed's been fighting oppression for years. Isn't that right, Ed? He my boy. He my boy. He's such a good kitty. All right, so tonight um, we do have a new blob out there in the Atlantic, so we might as well show you that while we're here, right? I mean, hell, we're here, right? I mean, let's just do it. Um, yeah, there we go. Hey, Ed. All right, so there's what we've got. Let me put the keyboard up before Ed steps on it and takes me offline. He's done it before. Sometimes he's done with the broadcast before I am. Anyway, so there you go. There's your two blobs. That first blob is going to go above the islands, like we always talk about. The second one, well, that's the one we really, at this point, we need to watch. That first one, if you live north of South Carolina, I would still be kind of watching that first one out of the corner of my eye, because there's a chance it'll alley-oop, but it will come close to the United States. I'm not sure. We will go ahead. I'm just going to pull up. Yes, Ed. I'm going to pull up the Mike's weather page. You guys know I use Mike's. And we do have models on this. Here's Tropical Tidbits. And there's our model runs. Look at that. I mean, it's taking it. It's alley-ooping it pretty quick today. It took it a lot closer to the U.S. yesterday. That's a good trend. That keeps it away from the U.S. And that's probably what's going to end up happening. This run here, this is the GEFS. This one also, there is a couple of wild outliers to take it off to the west, but for the most part, it's straight up. Isn't my voice loud when you put your ear right in my mouth like that? There's the GEPS. This is another ensemble, and you can see there, it's fairly tight grouped. Calls for it to become a hurricane, pretty good hurricane, but it's going to turn out and not affect. Bermuda, of course, we'll need to watch this really closely. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this one here is going to pose a direct threat to the United States, but it is forecast to get stronger. Isn't that right, Ed? All right, and then so there's that one. Let's go back to Mike's weather page. That's the only one we got right now. The severe weather threat tonight is right here in the middle of the country, and that's where our radar was centered here just a second ago, and it'll be back in a minute. And that's where we're watching for storms. Ed, why are you on the keyboard now? I got the keyboard up, and you're still trying to get on it. Look at that shirt. You guys see that? Look at that shirt that they're advertising there. Jesus, look at that thing. That's messed up, dude. Oh, God. I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll just run a few models since we're here. All right, this is the American model. And there you go. It brings that one up, and it brings that other one across. It struggles, though, to figure out. It doesn't know where it's going to go. I don't know if you noticed that. It really kind of struggled with where that's going to go. See, this is why I don't always have cats in here, because They want my attention, and I'm trying to give it to you guys right now. Let's see if this one picks it up. This is the Euro. Nope, it washes. It's down there in the intertropical, but there's not much to it. And then one more. Let's do the CMC. Here we go. CMC running. Coming across. Yes, Ed. Coming across. Oh, look at that. It tries to bring something up out of the Caribbean, but it's not that strong. Brings it up the coast, merges with the other one. That's not likely. But it also shows the two behind it going north. So there you go. Guys, an incredibly slow season. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Normally we would have tracked our first and probably second hurricane into the U.S. somewhere at this point. This is, we're past peak by several days now. Yeah, he is. He's an old man. He's like 10 years old. Now, he's not as old as the bus stop kitty, Maya. She showed up tonight. She actually lives 2 or 3 houses down the street. But my grandchild's first day at school, my ex-wife's grandchild, I guess he's still mine. I don't know how that works. Anyway, his first day of kindergarten, this cat, this gray cat, looks a lot like Ed, but she's more of a blue gray, not a silver gray. Come wandering up at the bus stop and just all the kids started petting this cat. They all loved this cat. They called her Maya. And here we are, guys, 14, 15 years, I don't know, 13 years later. She still goes to the bus stop in the morning and sees the kids, and she still comes here in the afternoon when I get home from work about 3 times a week. She'll be sitting on the post out there waiting on me, and I'll show up and I'll pet on her and love on her and give her some food. And she's probably 18 years old. I don't know. I'm guessing 17, 16. She's old, and she's a street cat. It's not that she's homeless. She has 5 homes. She could come live here and she'd be fine. I mean, we all love her here. We all know her. And all my cats get along with her. She comes wandering up. She's got beautiful yellow eyes. And she's the bus stop kitty, Maya. And everybody in the neighborhood, you can walk up to any neighbor in my neighborhood and ask them, hey, do you know Maya the bus stop kitty? Oh, yeah, Maya. She comes by all the time. And I'll be like, does she do Tuesdays and Thursdays with you? Because she does Mondays and Fridays with me. I'm not sure what you mean, Junior. Global storming. Yeah, I mean, in the past, they used storms to justify global warming, which, as we know, we had just as bad as storms 150 years ago. And we also know that we have years like this where last year was a light year, this year's an even lighter year. So so now, 10 years from now, when we're having a really, really bad year, they'll turn around and say, see, look, it's global warming. It's like, no. Do you remember 10 years ago when we had those 3 years in a row where we didn't have shit? You remember that? Oh, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm very tired tonight, guys. And you wrote it right and I read it wrong. That's my bad. Yes, Junior. I've never seen one quite this slow, no. Last year, the first half was just like this, but then it did pick up in the second half. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're already past the middle. We're on the second half of hurricane season at this point. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Man, they are really bad over there. They do not like this whole recycling thing. I think that's the same video playing like 3 times now. But they are really not happy about this. We're not recycling anymore, you sons of bitches. You'll recycle, you'll get shot. Flashbang. Yeah, we have seen this video before. But that's okay. I know it's looping, it's earlier. It is what it is. I'm mentally feeling a little better today. I've had a lot go on in my life. And I'm not going to get into it on here, but I've had a lot go on in my life. A lot of big changes. My mom, as you guys know, is recovering from a stroke, and it's not a secret. I'm not trying to keep it as one. Um, and she's having a hard struggle, and her and I are best friends. I'm one of those rare cases where I stayed best friends with my mom my whole life. We no matter, I was married for 14 years, and I would still go 2 or 3 times a week and have lunch with my mom. And years ago, I used to go pick her up at work, and we'd go have lunch. I mean, my mom and I have always been close. We've been very tight. My dad and I had a good father-son relationship, but we were never like best friends like my mom and I are. And it's good. It's a good thing. But then one day, your best friend, who is your mom, gets old, and her health starts to fail, and it sucks, man. It is what it is, but life sucks. And so I've had a lot going on right now, and then this Charlie Kirk thing really sent me spiraling. I don't know why. We've been discussing it at work. Trey said on Thursday that this has affected him so profoundly, and he doesn't quite understand why. And then I said the same thing. Friday, we had Jason Lewis, who is a former congressman, as our fill-in. Even our fill-ins are former congressmen. Anyway, we had him filling in, and he came on and talked for 10 minutes about how this has profoundly affected him, and he doesn't understand why. And he's had people call him that he hasn't talked to in years, wanting to talk about this because it has affected their lives so much. And then today, Trey brought it up again, and we talked about it on the air to 100,000 people. We talked about it on the air, talking about how this has affected us both profoundly. And my call screener is the same way. And Trey's like, it's affecting my family. It's affecting because it's an attack on the First Amendment. It's an attack on the country. It's an attack on free speech. It's an act of terror. Don't mistake it for anything else. Those actions were taken to suppress speech. That's terrorism. And it's affected people a lot more than they think. That Turning Point's over $5 million that they've raised. They're going to have chapters in every school. It's going to be crazy. And that's because there's something about this. It's just profound. I don't know. Looks like the Storm Chaser's back online. Let me see if I can pull him up. I'll get rid of that bottom one. Oh, no. No. Oh, there's another Storm Chaser. Okay, here we go. This is Tornado Pagey. I don't know how to pronounce that. I try. But he's out chasing, so I'm going to put him here at the bottom. Is that him? Yeah, that's him. And all three of these are live in an area that's about to get hit by this storm system. These other two up here are these over here. See these two over here? I'm just showing you where we're at. These two are the top two here. And then this Storm Chaser here is down here. This Storm Chaser's offline eating dinner or something. And that's Vince from weatheri.org, and we'll get back with him when he goes back live again. But there you go. We're starting to see the lightning come in from this storm complex as it moves through northern Kansas and southern Nebraska. Also, we just had an update on Radar Omega. The state names are in there now. It was a request that I had made as well. Please put the state names, because I hate to admit it, when I look at a big grid map like this, it's hard for me to pick out all the states. I'm not great at geography. I try very hard. I'm decent at pronouncing some of the names. I screw some of them up. But notice now, Nebraska, Kansas. They even got United States on there just in case you forgot where you was. I do like that, and I'm leaving it on because I like to see North Dakota, South Dakota. We didn't have that before, and this to me, it makes it a lot easier for all of us now. Where are you at? Oh, it's easy to see exactly where we are. Look, there's Iowa, there's South Dakota, and we are in Nebraska, South Nebraska, northern Kansas, and also there's one here in central Nebraska, 60-mile-an-hour winds with hail reported, severe thunderstorm. And then we've got these ones down here, also 1/4 size hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. And that's for this complex that's about to move through here. All right. We also have this big flood warning that's out right now. Um, oh no, that's a severe thunderstorm watch and a flash flood warning. So we have a severe thunderstorm watch and a flash flood warning also out for that area. So lots of warnings coming out, but I don't see any tornadic. Um, oh boy. Oh, there it is. They moved all my buttons around. They kind of pissed me off with that. It's like these programmers, if they can't figure out anything good to do, they still want to get paid for the update, so they just move all the buttons around. Oh wow, they got 24-hour precip accumulation now. This is something we've never had before, guys. So that's pretty good. That is definitely an added feature right there. Let's see here. Okay, and there's high-res velocity. I just had to find it. I'm not used to the new controls, but they look okay. I just got to get used to them. All right, I do love Radar Omega. I just wish they wouldn't move the buttons around just because we got to move the buttons around. Isn't that right, Ed? He's over here. He's watching the hurricane website, and he'll let us know if there's any. Let me know if there's any changes. All right, Ed. All right, and you see him back there? He's just studying that. He's just studying that. I don't know what he's doing back there. All right. Anyway, to be a cat, you know, I'd love to figure out what cats are thinking sometimes. All right. So there we go. That's high res. Let me see. Does this have 1 hour precip total? What is storm relative velocity? Wow, there's a bunch of new ones in here I got to check out. There's a brand new thunderstorm warning that just got dropped. They blink for 1 minute on here so you can see they're new. And here's the high-res coefficient, correlation coefficient. This one here shows you debris in the sky. Holy shit, there's a lot of new ones in here. That's a precip total. This is something brand new we've never had on this radar service before. This is total accumulated rainfall, and see these yellow squares are flash flood warnings, and that's why we've got some areas here. Yeah, 0.25 in 1 hour, but that's even higher than that. I don't have a legend on here, so I don't really know. But man, that's a lot of rain right there. Well, that's cool, guys. We've got some new tools to play with. Oh wow, it's got echo tops too. This is scanning the top of the clouds, basically. Hydrometer classification. I gotta even go read about that because I'm not even sure on that one. I know a lot about a lot of things, but if I don't know, I'm just gonna tell you I don't know because I'm not one of those. Wow, that's cool, guys. We've got a lot of new toys to play with. And this is the new high-res reflectivity, which actually looks a little better. It's a little better presentation than it was. And then I got base reflectivity too. So we also have winter radar stuff in here and different tilts. Pretty damn cool. I'm impressed. They did add a bunch of new features. They didn't just move the buttons around. I'll give them credit. All right. All right, so there we go. Let's see here. The other thing I want to talk about tonight a little bit is we've talked about the unrest. We talked about the hurricanes. The only other thing was I did want to take. There's really no Star Trek news. I kind of looked to see if there was any of that. Space weather wise, we're under a gale right now. Earth is inside a stream of solar wind. It's blowing faster than 700 kilometers per second, or about 1.6 million miles an hour. The gale is blowing from a large butterfly-shaped hole in the sun. And guess what? I'm going to show it to you. Here you go. There you go right there. Well, there you go right there. That's a pretty sun right there. That is an infrared shot of our sun. Or no, wait, it's a three-color shot. And that is that shows you. Look at that huge coronal hole. When there's a hole like this, it means there's a weakness basically in the surface, and it allows solar wind to escape. This solar wind can then cause auroras and radio blackouts and all that fun stuff. So if you want to find out more about this, obviously spaceweather.com is my go-to place. That's spaceweather.com. I just like my news channels and stuff, just like Mike's weather page during hurricane season. Spaceweather.com has become absolutely one of my go-to websites, and you should definitely have it on your bar there. There's the link. Bill, I'm experiencing that now. I've had issues, I've had some major stuff go on in my life, and people moving and coming and going out of my life, and my mom not doing so well, and the lawnmower's not working. I've got issues in my life, but this has set me back somehow. This has really set me back somehow. And I watched Charlie Kirk. I'm not just one of these people that's like, I didn't even know who he was. I liked him. I watched him for years. He is I'm going to use the term, I hate to, but he's a master at debating. I'm going to say it that way. And I watched him for years. So, I mean, and we talked about him a lot on the radio, and because of the stuff he was doing with the youth and the way he was doing it and everything, it was so good. We do have to persevere. We have to get through it, and that's where we're at, and we will. I think we'll all be okay. But I do believe that this feeling is being felt all across the country. I really do. I believe that I'm watching the Aurora Oval back here is almost into the United States. I'm watching it, but it's coming south, and it's almost in the United States. You could see the aurora from the Great Lakes right now, and so there's a slight chance for that. But anyway. Yeah, I do believe that there's something to this, and it's going to have a profound effect going forward. I think the left thought they were having a bad day before. They're really having a bad day now. The gale's blowing from a large butterfly-shaped hole in the sun's atmosphere, and look at this, guys. Look at this beautiful picture. This was taken by Ray McPherron on September 14th, which was 2 days ago, in London, Ontario, Canada. That's a really cool picture. Do they have any other ones? Let me see here. I like it. I like that they use the farm equipment to kind of give you a foreground, and the lit tower. It's always good when you're taking large pictures of something that's way in the distance to always include foreground. Always include a little foreground so that you can kind of base off of that where you're at, what you're shooting, and how big it is. And this is a great one here because you've got the cell phone tower right there. That looks like a freestander cell phone tower. Probably about 300, 400 feet. And then you got the big tractor there with the big tiller on the back. And I think that's really cool. You should, See, this one doesn't have as much foreground, so it's a little harder. This one's still pretty good, but it's a little harder to see exactly how far out or whatever. Here's another one where they did really good with the foreground, the midground, and then of course the background, and then the aurora beyond that. So you kind of have 3 layers. And notice they use their headlights or a light to paint the foreground. When you're taking a 3-second exposure of an aurora, while the shutter's open, you take your flashlight and you just quickly scan the foreground, and that will light it up in the picture because your shutter's open. And then so now you've got this beautiful, well-saturated aurora in your photograph, but you've also got a lit up foreground. And that's exactly what they've done here. That could just be their headlights, or they painted it. But either way, it's really, really cool. So I thought that was neat. Let's see if there's any others real quick here. This is the real-time Aurora Gallery. You guys can go here anytime on spaceweather.com and check it out. I love the Aurora Gallery. There is some amazing pictures in here of auroras, and you can basically check it out. Look at that. That's from Andrew Kwan in back on the 14th. He's in Richards Lansing, Ontario, Canada. Richards Landing. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Green is not my favorite color, but it's beautiful when it's in an aurora. I'll give you that. Beautiful auroras. There's one with the moon. That shows you how bright the auroras are. You can see them pass. You can see them even with the moon and everything, and they're still really bright. This is Todd Salat on the 15th from McCarthy, Alaska. Oh well. All right, guys. Let's see what's next. Yeah, there is live aurora video feeds. We do them on here sometimes. When there's live auroras going on right now, we might be able to find them right now, but I have done that before when I don't have all. I mean, it's important to stay on the people that are pissed off at recycling. I am going to be signing off soon. I've had a hell of a week. I've got to get up early again tomorrow. I got a full day tomorrow again. And so I am going to be signing off here in about 20 minutes or so. Yeah. The problem with the live aurora feeds, and I'll look real quick, but the problem with those, they're spoofed really bad. One night I was showing you guys an aurora and it was absolutely beautiful. And then I realized it was a recording. It started over again. I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm showing you guys this and telling you it's live, and it's not live, and that pissed me off. All right, here's one. That's in Quebec. I don't see much going on there. This is North Dakota. Yep, nothing going on right now. There's a bunch of them up tonight, but none of them are showing auroras, so those must be the real ones. Hi, Ed. What you doing, Bo? You about ready to go to bed? You got a long day, too? Okay, let's see here. There was one other thing I wanted to do. The next launch is tomorrow, Starlink, but it's going up from California, from Vandenberg. There's another one on the 18th that's going up from Canaveral, and another one from Kennedy. Both of those are obviously right next to each other in Florida. On the 25th again, Cape Canaveral. but that's what's coming up with launches. And then we've got and then let's take a quick peek at this. This is your seismic monitor. Here's where your earthquakes have been, and it looks like, of course, right around the Pacific Rim. Wow, that's a big one. There's a six in New Britain region, right there north of. Yes, Ed. What's wrong, buddy? What are you yelling about? When I tell you this cat yells, he screams at me. He's learned that the louder he makes sounds, the quicker I move. Is that right, Eddie? You want to go out? You're ready to go to bed, aren't you? That's what I thought. I'm about ready myself. Okay, so 4.8 south of the Aleutian Islands, Alaska Peninsula, 3.9. A lot of them up there, and then there's some over here too, down here in central southern South America, to 4.9 near the coast of Chiapas. I don't know how to pronounce that, in Mexico. And then there's another one here off the coast of northern Peru. So yeah, I mean, we're, nothing major, but we're kind of looking at the same stuff. That's what they call the Pacific Rim of Fire right there, and that's why. Look at these lightning flashes. There's actually lowerings in the clouds. I don't think it's tornadoes, but look at when it flashes, you can see lowerings in the clouds. It's pretty cool. Yep, I went through the live Aurora stuff. If I find one showing an Aurora, we'll put it up. But I went through the 6 or 8 of them that I know are good, and they're not showing anything. They're working, but they're not showing anything. Big city fire chief on leave over incendiary posts mocking Charlie Kirk's death. Cleveland's fire chief has been removed from duty over incendiary marks. Anthony Luke placed on paid administrative leave as the mayor says post crossed the line. Yep, there you go. What is wrong with people, dude? You know what gets me? Something happens to somebody on the other side, you don't see all this. I'm sorry. Hey, deploribus unum. Yep, there you go. Wow, 71. I was 2. Greenland. Yeah, he was the chief of the department, Billy, and he's been removed from duty. Like I said earlier, it's important to remember that the First Amendment protects you from the government. It doesn't protect you from your employer. It doesn't protect you from getting your face punched. It doesn't protect you from getting your car beat up. It protects you from the government. It protects you from cops coming and arresting you for saying that you don't like the cops or whatever. That's what the First Amendment does. And I love hearing these people calling up our show all the time saying, that son of a bitch boss of mine, he violated my rights. No, he didn't. He's allowed to fire whoever he wants. The First Amendment has nothing to do with your employment. It has nothing to do with anything other than what the government is allowed to do to you and what you're allowed to do on the steps of City Hall. Okay, you want out, Eddie? All right, I'll be right there. Yeah, okay. All right, buddy. I swear to God. There you go. You hear him yelling at me? He's got a louder voice than me, and that's scary. Yep, that was the 1971 San Fernando earthquake. The Olive View Medical Center and the Veterans Hospital both experienced very heavily damaged, and the buildings collapsed at both sides, causing the majority of the deaths in the earthquake. Wow. There you go. No, I don't have an updated opinion on 3i. I really don't. It's done all kinds of changing out there, but I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I'm seeing if there's anything new on it. Its closest approach to the sun will be on the 29th and 30th of October. It's going to be 1.36 AU. Now remember, an AU is an astronomical unit. That's the distance between the Earth and the sun on a standard orbit. An LD is a lunar distance. These are the two things we use a lot inside a solar system to talk about the distance from things. If they say it's 1 AU or 1 astronomical unit, then that would be the distance between the Earth and the sun. 1 lunar distance would be 1 distance between the Earth and the lunar surface, the moon. So basically, if it's 12 LD, that's 12 times the distance between the Earth and the moon. Okay, let's see here. It says the CO2 and the H2O ratio is unusually high. This is amongst the highest ever seen from comets. This suggests that Atlas might have formed in or beyond the CO2 ice line of its parent star system, or under conditions different from most solar system comets. Water activity has been confirmed even when the object was about 3.5 AU away, a region where the sublimation of water ice is usually inefficient. In comets, this suggests either water ice being released via icy grains or other mechanisms. In other words, it's very different than what we're used to with our run-of-the-mill comets, because a run-of-the-mill comet came from here. I think that's a lot of people are not sure on this. This is the third interstellar object we've ever detected. Most comets, most asteroids, all these different things, they all come from here. They're all a byproduct of our solar system. Things get thrown out into space all the time. Some of them return. The sun pulls on it and pulls on it and pulls on it and pulls on it and pulls on it for thousands of years, and eventually it stops. And it will slowly start to turn back towards the solar system and eventually dive towards the sun. And depending on its trajectory, it may burn up, or it may go around the sun and go back out again for another trip. Those are standard comets. We get a lot of those, but this thing here is obviously not. Yeah, there's a YouTube video that says something about everything. All I'm saying is it a possibility that this is something? It could be anything. It's interstellar. It could be a sleeper ship. It could be a probe. It could be a derelict ship. There's a lot of things it could be. But I will admit that the overwhelming possibility is that it's a rock that traveled here from another star system. The nucleus size is not precisely known, but it's estimated to be around 0.32 kilometers to 5.6 kilometers nucleus. So basically, that's pretty big. I mean, it could be as much as 2 or 3 miles wide. Yeah, it could be as much as several miles in diameter. Especially if you include the coma. The coma is the atmosphere, basically, that's being caused by the off-gassing, which is being caused by the heating of the sun causing a subluxation on the surface. It actually shrinks the size of the asteroid as it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and gases and liquids that are inside the comet get off-gassed, and we see that as a coma and a tail. Yeah, so it's interstellar. It came from God knows where. I mean, it literally came from another solar system. It came from a place where the physics might be different. Who knows? This rock could be older than our entire sun. It could be older than our solar system itself. The possibilities are crazy. They're estimating it's between 3 and 14 billion years old. I don't know how they come up with these numbers, but whatever. They're scientists. We pay them money, right? It came into our system from the southern celestial hemisphere, from a region roughly toward the constellation Sagittarius, near the galactic center direction. This was somewhat unexpected given prior expectations about the likely direction of interstellar objects. So this actually came from it came from directly from like the galactic plane. It came from like where most everything is in the galaxy out there. Anyway, it's got a green glow, and it is actively increasing at this time, but there has been some noted color change. It's observed turning a greenish color. Newer images show it may be producing more gas like cyanide, dust, incorporated, etc. As solar heating increases, the green hue is likely due to gaseous components being released as it warms, which is what I just talked about a minute ago. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to be honest, I'm trying not to get into all the weird conspiracy stuff, but we can talk about it. I mean, could it be an old ship from some land somewhere? Here's the thing. it takes something pretty tough to float through open space for 1,000,000 years. It's going to be attacked by rocks and gravitational forces and solar winds, radiation of all different types. So the chance of it being like a metal ship is difficult to figure. I don't think it would be. But hey, you know, like in Stargate, the Stargates are made of naquita. Naquita is a material that we don't even know how to forge yet. We haven't figured it out. It's a material that's stronger than anything we know of. We can't drill through it or anything. It's the gates were built, and they did that because they needed the gates to survive all kinds of crazy conditions. So early on in the show, they established that the gate was not made out of any metal that we were aware of. It was made out of naquita, and naquita is a material that is like 20 times stronger than any metal we could make here on Earth. And so, you know, if you follow those lines, I like to use science fiction to kind of look at the possibilities for science fact. If it was made out of a metal that's very different than our metal, something that's a lot more robust, then yeah, I think that, you know, maybe it could be, obviously. It is weird. It has produced what looked like a forward-facing tail. There has been some photography that shows a small tail, but it's definitely forming a coma. Yeah, it's come from light years away, and it's traveling at pretty slow speed, so it's been in interstellar space for 1,000,000 years or 100,000 years or something. I mean, it's like in Star Trek. If you fly to another planet that's 50 light years away and your warp drive goes out, you're stuck. It took 50 light years to get there. You can't quite go light speed, so it's going to take you 150 years to get home. That's the difference. The difference between sublight speeds and warp speeds are just so dramatically different. It's kind of crazy to think about. We need Ripley. That's who we need. And Newt. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite sci-fi movies. I love old Paxton in that. He's so funny. He's like the tough coward in that. He says, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do?" And she says, "She survived here all this time by herself with no weapons." And he goes, "Won't you put her in charge?" He says at the beginning, he's like, "Elevator to hell, going down." Died a while back, but he was great in that movie. And of course, Sigourney Weaver's awesome. I love all the Alien movies are okay. I will say the first one was pretty good. The second one was an amazing flick, and the third one sucked kinda, and the fourth one, yeah, wasn't, you know, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Guys, I'm honest, I'm shying away from all the conspiracy theories on this object. Because if they were coming, they wouldn't come in at sublight. They would warp in and suddenly appear. You wouldn't see them coming. Unless it's some kind of sleeper ship or something. I mean, there's always that possibility. Oh, Event Horizon. Oh, great science horror. Oh my God. That's a great flick. Was it Lauren Fishburne, I think? He was in that. A lot of good people in that. That was a good flick. Very dark. Oh man, that was a good flick. The Abyss, another. There was actually another movie made that was very similar to The Abyss that was made right about the same time. And I'm trying to think of the name of that one. They were both good movies. Aliens, the second one was the best of the series by far. Black Hole, Disney flick, made the same year as Star Wars. Let me tell you, the Black Hole, amazing. It had, what's his name? Oh God, I can't remember his name now. He was the Psycho guy. Why can't Anthony Perkins, was that his name? Anthony Perkins? I don't remember. He was the psycho guy, and and you know who played the voice of the beat up robot and didn't even get credit in the credit lines, was Slim Pickens. Remember old Slim Pickens? He's like, I'm a robot and I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, that was a great movie. It had the guy from Airwolf in it, Ernest Borgnine. I like him. I didn't like him in that movie. He was kind of a coward in that movie, but that was a good movie. It was a good movie. It happened right when all the other the sci-fi became big right about that time, and that movie competed with some bigger movies. And then, of course, I think Star Trek, the motion picture, was 1 year right after it, I think. But yeah, it's underrated. But it's also a freaky movie. If you like movies that like wrap everything up in a nice bow at the end, probably not your movie. This is more like a oh, what's that show? I'm having a real hard time with my memory tonight, guys. Scully and Mulder. It's more like that show, because you never really find out what happens at the end. It's just what is that? X-Files. X-Files. You don't really find out what happens at the end, and it's kind of that way with the black hole. You really don't know what happens. And the only other thing I really didn't like about that movie, we know that you cannot go into a black hole. It will crush you 1,000 times over, 1,000,000 times over. The forces are more than we will probably ever be able to beat. And yet in that movie, they fly down the mall of this thing. It really would not happen. So, but if you suspend that, it's really good. Yeah, Slim Pickens. He's funny. He's a funny actor. He was also in the Poseidon Adventure. He was in a bunch of stuff back then. Yes, we do, Coco. We'll do that. I want to do a night where we talk about all our favorite sci-fi movies. There's so many good ones out there. And yeah, there's a lot more we can talk about. We probably should do it Star Trek, non-Star Trek. We'll do like non-Star Trek movies one night, because I get talking about the Star Trek stuff, and that's all I want to talk about. And there's some really good movies out there that are not Star Trek. And Star Trek's made a few stinker movies, so let's be honest. X-Files is okay. I watched X-Files. I like X-Files. But I'll be honest, it was never my favorite show. I love the Mulder and Scully characters. I love some of the secondary characters they had, the Smoking Man and stuff. But I got to tell you, the way that show never wrapped anything up just stuck me in the craw every week, and I got to where I didn't watch it because it just never quite wrapped anything up. All right, so real quick before we go tonight, because I am getting ready to sign off. I've been doing this thing. I've got all the feeds moved over as of yesterday morning. I hope you guys, did you guys get an alert? Did anybody that hit the bell get the alert? That's what I'm wondering. Because you should have gotten an alert tonight, because I only did one other thing on this channel today, and that was a live drive. I did a live drive coming back from Venice for a little over an hour. That was good. But yeah, I did that a live drive, and so I should have still had one go out for this. So there you go. I got stickers, and The problem is, I ordered them and they aren't cut out. You have to go in and cut them out with scissors, or you have to just leave the white thing on the back. They were really cheap, and now I know why. But I got 200 of them for $38. Really, wasn't too bad. Little 2-inch stickers and little Starship Adventure stickers, and they're paper. They're not, I'm gonna get some 3-inch vinyl ones for like the back of the car and stuff. I'm gonna be working on that. I'm also getting magnetics for the car. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, guys. I'm done. All right. Any last thoughts? I'm gonna do merch. I'm gonna be honest. I may do memberships one day too. I just don't feel like I'm quite there yet. Nobody wants my merch yet. But maybe in another year or so, we get up to 50,000 subs. We're doing more than 14 people in the show at night. I'm going to do merch. I've got some great ideas for merch. I could do that. I'd have to figure out what and how and all that. I work for a radio station. I hate the whole begging you guys. I don't think, we do it a lot at the station too, where we give out stuff and all this. We give out tickets and we give out free shit. And the stations have kind of backed off on that over the years. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it, but it has a weird connotation to me. It's like I'm bribing people into hanging around or something. I don't know. I would hope that you're here for the content, not for the giveaways type of thing. But hey, well, whatever. We'll think about it. Junior, I'd like to get you and 2 or 3 other people together one day in a couple weeks when my life gets a little bit more normal. I'd love to get 3 or 4 or 5 of you guys and some of my other mods too, Coco, BJ. I'd love to get Heath. I'd love to get some of you guys involved. Let's do a Zoom and we can all see each other and talk for the first time. And I would like to talk about some of these programs I want to do and how we can do them and facilitate some stuff. I think we could really do better. I think we could, and if you guys want a little bit more of a role in the channel, I'm up for that. I'd love to do it somehow. As you can see, my whole staff here, which basically consists of Mama Bleep Kitty and Big Earl and Ed Earl. That's about it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff we can do. I want to do the whole crew thing too. I think it'd be cool to do crew and get different color stars and do different whatever. We're gonna figure something out. It's gonna be fun. All right. That's what I have. I don't believe there's any new breaking news out there that I've missed at this point. If anybody knows of anything you'd like to mention, please put it in now. I'm looking here to see if there's anything new coming in. Oh, I'm so sick of these studies. The government comes out with all these studies. Oh my God, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. And then we find out later all the studies were wrong. Yeah, we'll toss around some ideas. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, there you go. We'll go take over the whole world. I'm having a hard time running my little corner of it. All right. Guys, if I ask if you have not subbed over on the Starship After Dark, I am doing a subscription drive there. I need to mention it more, I know, because if I'm doing a drive, I need to talk about it more. But I'm doing a subscription drive right now. For both this channel, which I think everybody here is already subbed to this channel, but also Starship After Dark. It really makes a difference if we can get you guys to go over there and sub at Starship After Dark, because I'm trying to get that channel up to a certain number. Right now it's at 414 or something like that. And I'm trying to get that over 500 and eventually over 1,000 so that we can get it up there where it's monetized and all that kind of stuff. Just so you guys know, my plan is not to beg you guys. I don't know if you've noticed, I don't beg you for supers. I don't beg you for supers. If you give them, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know, but I don't beg for them. And if you don't have plenty of money, I don't want them. All I'm saying is, I'm trying to monetize the commercials so that I can provide my content to you guys without memberships and without supers. I want you to be able to come in and watch. You don't owe me anything. But I got to be able to get some ad revenue, because what my whole plan is to do this full time and move to the mountains. And then you guys will get content all the time. I plan on just living the life, the YouTube life up there. And I'm taking Ed and Mama with me. And we're just going to go live up there, and every day it's a new driving adventure. Every day it's a different mountain, a different POTA. We'll go work parks on the air and do different things with ham radio and contesting and storms and storm chasing up in the mountains. And there's so much to do up there. And I plan to be there. But I have to keep building this channel to where I can get to the point where this channel is giving me enough money every month that I can pay all my bills. Then at that point, my entire life focuses on nothing but this channel. Could you imagine if I didn't have family obligations, which I'm slowly running out of those, if you know what I mean? In another 3 or 4 years, I probably won't have any family obligations anymore. Okay? So you got that. And you've got the fact that I own a cabin up in one of those beautiful places of our country right there. And I'm going to be moving there. And if I can make enough money on the advertising here, then A, I don't have to beg you guys for money. B, I can go and I can live where I want to live and live the life that I want to live and provide content. That's what I want to do. I love providing content. And I just want to live my life in the mountains by myself, providing content to people. And eventually, I want to start having get-togethers, and I want to start doing stuff. I'll invite people to my cabin up there and stuff. I mean, it could be a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to the days down the road where it's a big enough channel that I've got a nice amount of money coming in every month. I pay my taxes, I do what I have to do, and then I make sure that we've got a nice vehicle. I take you guys out all the time. We go do stuff. I got so many things I want to show you up there. That's where I want to be. And then still do the studio show here. I want to do the sights and sounds. They've got fiber at the bottom of my street up there. It's now available at my cabin, fiber optic. 1 gig up, 1 gig down, fiber optic available at my cabin, $85 a month. Junior, I love my cabin in the mountains. I really love my cabin in the mountains. It's just an amazing... I want to live there, but I'm producing this drive show down here, and these are my friends, and we produce a very special show down here. It's a #1 rated show. It's the #1 rated local show, and right now the #2 rated show in the entire area, all channels included. And I just can't leave that right now. I can't. I got to stay here for another 2 or 3 years probably. But I figured in 3 years I should have my plaque. I should have my silver plaque by then. I should be making enough money that I can move up there without having to work at Home Depot. It's 1 acre, just under 1 acre. It's about 0.9 acres. It's on the side of a mountain. It's just under 3,000 feet. It faces on a south mountain, and it is between Murphy, North Carolina, and Blairsville, Georgia. The actual mailing address is called Young Harris, Georgia. And it's a beautiful A-frame. We put a big deck all the way around 2 sides of it. I'm going to end up taking the big deck on the side and building it into a studio. It's a beautiful cabin. It's a neat cabin. It's not big, but I got a nice shed and everything, so I got plenty of room up there. I got room under the house. Under the house is all dried in too, and there's nothing under there, so I've got some storage there too. So it's really not so bad. I mean, and it's in a beautiful place, and the taxes are low. The permitting is almost nothing. You can still submit your own plans and build your own house up there. It's there's not a lot of ordinances. There's not a lot of oversight from the government. It's pretty easygoing place, and that's one of the other things I really like about it. I've got a multi-band, a big, huge multi-band HF vertical up there, but it's all up in the trees, and it doesn't work all that well. It's not touching any of the trees, but it's right in the middle of a bunch of hardwood trees, and the antenna is shorter than all the trees, so it doesn't do all that well. I do have a high-gain Comet GP9 up there for VHF, UHF, and it does pretty good. I can get POTA contacts 60, 70 miles away with that on a 50-watt VHF, so not too bad. I monitor call channel up there on a base radio. I got a base radio up there just for call channel, and I answer all the POTAs when they call on call channel. But yeah, that's the only two antennas I have up there. Oh no, wait, I got a 40 wire hanging in the tree. I got a 40 wire hanging in the tree, and it still works. In case I want to get on the 7.2. So yeah, I got a 40 wire. I got a multi-band vertical that's 6 through 80. It's not working great, but with a tuner it still works. I can do FT8 on it all day with a tuner. Now if I get on there in voice, it's a little difficult. But truthfully, if I go to 7400 and go to FT8, I can talk to people all day on it. So as long as I got my external tuner up there, you have to put a tuner on it, or not? A tuner. Yeah. Well, it's hard when you're a channel that's got, I know that the couple of nights back when the LA riots were going on, the latest ones, not the Rodney King ones, when the LA riots were going on, I had 1,500 people in my room, and the chat was going so fast I couldn't keep up with it. I tried, and I was having a hard time. And when we get like that on a regular basis, that's when I'm going to need my mods to, I don't even know how we're going to do it yet. I'm thinking seriously about using some kind of private chat room or something that I can run over on the side and then just give a link to. Maybe we could even use another Discord server or something. I'd like to provide a way that my mods can send me messages directly onto my console here without going over the air or in the chat room. And I'm kind of, there's just a lot of little logistical things like that I'm working on. The latest version of QCast is almost done. I can't wait to get a hold of it. He's working out a few bugs. He's asked me to hold off. He's working on a few bugs. But hopefully we'll get that. I want to see how that goes. Well, it is an advantage and it's not an advantage. Yeah, I'm up at 3,000 feet on a mountain. And if I'm trying to talk to Atlanta, as long as I can get away from the trees, I'm doing pretty good. But here's the problem. I've got 1,500 feet of mountain behind me. So I don't get anybody to the north. I'm completely blacked out to the north. All I can talk is south and southwest and west. That's it. Because I've got mountain east of me and mountain north of me. And it's tall, very tall, much taller than any of my sticks. So it's good and it's bad. I could probably talk to Atlanta on a good day on VHF because I'm line of frickin' sight. However, I'm all amongst the hardwood trees and I can only talk in one direction. I'm kind of like in a little satellite dish up there. I'm in the middle and this thing goes right around me like that and I'm in a bowl. So it's weird, it's different. It's like I put up my aircraft tracker, my dump 1090 aircraft tracker. I put that up there and set it up and hook up the antenna and put it on. And it only picks up planes on the half elliptical. And the ones on the other side of the mountain, it only picks them up for like 30 miles and then it loses them. So that shows you right there that I've got a huge block 2/3 of my sky, almost 2/3 of my sky is blocked out with the mountain. Yeah, that's probably what we'll do, Junior. I'm not looking to do it today, but we'll soon. We'll set that up. I also need to make some of you guys mods in Discord. I just having a hard time figuring out how to do that. I don't know why, but anyway. Let's see real quick here. Does anybody watch the Emmys anymore? I hear it was a shit show again. They'll probably have, I'm sure they had Brad Clooney come out and say something really ignorant. You know, I don't watch, I never really watched all those shows, but I did like the one about the movies, the Grammys, or no, what's this one that just happened? Emmys. I do like the Emmys. I used to watch it, but I haven't watched it in a long. You know, the last time I watched the Emmys, my mom and I sat down to watch the Emmys, and The English Patient took every award, every one. And I looked at my mother about halfway through the broadcast. I'm like, "What the F is The English Patient?" She says, "I have no idea. I've never heard of it." And I'm like, "How can a movie earn every single award at the award show, and yet it never played in any of our movie theaters, and it never was talked about by anybody?" And that's when I realized that the Emmys had changed. See, it used to be box office numbers, but it's not anymore. The Emmys are based on what the Actors Guild actors feel is the best movies. That's almost like the cops getting together and deciding who's a good cop and who's a bad cop. It's the same thing. People who are acting in the movies should not be getting together and deciding who the best actors in the movies are. But that's how they do it. And that's how you get things like The English Patient getting every single award in every category. And people are all just looking around like, "I've never even heard of this movie." Oh, Junior, I got rid of cable TV 12 years ago. I watch news. I do still get news. I generally will watch both Fox and CNN because I like to get an array of what's going on. CNN's very bad about just not discussing things that are controversial. And so you have to watch something else. MSLSD is just way off the deep end. So there's really only two cable choices, and that's CNN and Fox. And CNN is far left, and Fox is pretty far right. So it is what it is. You have to take it down the middle and know what you're watching and know the bias. And it can be an echo chamber. It sure can. Yeah. But no, I don't do cable anymore. I watch for entertainment. There's not much I watch. If I'm watching YouTube, I normally watch the First Amendment auditors, the constitutionalist guys. I watch stuff like that, and I watch videos on how to do things, how to game things, how to figure out the best way to accomplish things. I do a lot of that. And I've learned, like, when I got to change the fuse for my cigarette lighter plug in my Hyundai Sonata, I've learned to look for a video for that too. Just about everything I do with videos on YouTube now, no matter what. If I'm at work and I'm trying to figure out some new thing on the program, it's there. If I'm at home trying to figure out, it's all there. I love just being able to take Google and figure out how to find things and do things, and then watch a video on YouTube on how to do it. I think it's great. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you guys have never hooked up an air antenna to your TV and you live in a metropolitan area, you might want to try it. I'll tell you, I got a hex beam sitting over here on the side of my house. I've got it down off the tower because I got the 6 meter up on the tower. And all I did was I hooked coax to a splitter to two different TVs, and I took that outside and I hooked it up to the antenna plug on that hex beam out there, and I'm getting 70 channels on each TV. Now, some of those are Spanish, some of those are crap, some of those are words, a lot of them are music. My channel that I work at actually is on 46-5, I think, down here. You can actually listen to us on TV. It's pretty cool. All of our stations are broadcast on our 11 dash or our 46 dash signal, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, there you go, TV programming. Yeah, that's correct. Well, I mean, there's been a lot of, the biggest TV programming that's ever gone on? Sesame Street, PBS. That's where your programming is. I mean, they've been programming our children for years. Yeah, over the air channel, 70 plus in Seminole. Yeah, I'm just hooked up to some wires on the side of my house. If I actually put a couple of those multi bow tie receiver type antennas, those flat antennas, if I put a few of those up on my 40-foot tower, one facing north and one facing towards Miami, southeast, I'd probably get 120 channels. And then if I bought a booster and stuck it on there, I'd probably get more. Yeah, I've never tried YouTube Premium. You would think a content provider that's monetized would get YouTube Premium, but no, not so much. Not so much. It's kind of weird they don't give that to us. Maybe they do when you get up to the silver plaque or something. I don't know, but I'm not paying for YouTube Premium because I don't need it. I sometimes watch the ones that go through the plane disasters, and they explain how they're investigated, and they show all the stuff that happened in the cockpit, and then they show the guys investigating it later. Air disasters. I think there's 2 or 3 or 4 different ones that I watch. Those are pretty good. Though that's just been something recently that have kind of piqued my interest. But normally I watch First Amendment auditor stuff, or I watch science fiction. And I've watched all the science fiction so much that I've become almost intolerant to watching it, because I've seen it all 100 times. And so I've reached a point in my life where I try not to watch much TV. I get up in the morning and I get up. I don't sit there and watch TV. And I come out here and I sit down, I put on music, and I start working on stuff out here. And that's what I do. I put my rock and roll music on. I love my Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Fleetwood Mac, Tom Petty, the Eagles, all that kind of good music, and a little bit of newer stuff too. I do like Jethro Tull. I do like I can't think of all the band names right now, but there's quite a bit of stuff. Nirvana, there's a few of their songs I really like. There's some stuff out there that's really good, and I sit here. I've got my music in my computer, and I just put it on, and I start listening to it, and then I start wheeling my chair around this room, doing whatever it is I need to do. I have computers all the way around in almost a complete circle here, and I just go to each one and do what I got to do. All right, guys, anything else? Last call. I told you I was going to do an hour, and here we are approaching 2 hours. I just can't shut up. I do like documentaries. I stick with those a lot. There you go. Yeah, you can even watch classroom stuff on here too, which is kind of nice. You can watch there's just about anything you could ever want to watch on YouTube. I think that's amazing. I love YouTube. I'm proud to be a content provider on here. They're not perfect, but nobody is. And I'm thoroughly happy to be a content provider here. I love this, and I love you guys. When you come in, this is fun. We have fun time tonight, and I'm going to be doing. I've got a lot of things I want to do. I'd love to start bringing in panels. I would love to start getting people to come in and co-host. There's a lot we can do as a group that I can't do by myself. I used to do Saturday Night Paranormal, where I would literally have 6, 8, 9 people in a Zoom meeting, and then we would display that Zoom meeting on the screen. And that's what we did. And we would build computers and build radios and build antennas and learn how to do things and program things. And if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, it's all on this channel. Go back and look for it. If you want to do FT8, I've got 2 or 3 really good videos on FT8 that shows all the strategies, ways to pounce, ways to get things, ways to do things. I've got videos on how to build the aircraft tracker, the Dump 1090. You can build that whole thing with the filter and everything for $50, maybe 75 or 80 if you want a better antenna. And you can track the planes right at home with your own equipment. There's so many things you can do. And I've got all those videos. Like I took a Windows machine and turned it to a Linux machine live on the air. We did all kinds of stuff on there, guys. I mean, it was good. But the problem was we never broke out of the numbers. No matter what I did, I would have 40, 50 people every night, and that was it. We never broke free of the numbers. That's why I abandoned that and went to something else. And I'm going to try this for a while longer. This seems to have a little more possibility here. And so we're trying this for a while. But anyway. All right, guys. Last call. Anything else? MH370. Well, there has been a few small things found. That's one of those ones where the highest likelihood is that it's in the ocean somewhere. Yes, auto body. There you go. I'm surprised the number of people that, like, if you're trying to fix a certain thing on a certain car, there's a video for it. There's a video for it. It's crazy. All right, guys. Listen to me. I got to go. I can't even stay awake anymore sitting here. All right, guys. I have nothing planned tomorrow until tomorrow night, 9 p.m. I'm going to be working here, and I've got a lot of work to do tomorrow. I've got a bunch going on, but I'm not taking any long drives or anything. So I don't expect to be on tomorrow, except for the 9 p.m. show, this show. And then the same thing for Thursday and Friday. Friday, I'm going to Venice. I'm probably going to do a live drive on the way home from Venice around 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, something like that. It's kind of cool to do that. So we'll do that. Anyway, that's what we got. Saturday, I'm doing the Fort Myers Beach drive. We're going to be driving down to Fort Myers Beach, and I'm going to take you guys. I'm going to park the car and get out, and we're going to walk the beach. I'm going to show you guys where the buildings used to be and what they're doing now, and how high the water was, and we're going to be doing the whole thing. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I plan on spending 3 or 4 hours between Fort Myers Beach and Bonita Beach, and yeah, I'm gonna literally go down there, and we're gonna walk out on the beach, and it'll be fun. I'm gonna show you guys where the pier is, and it's all still damaged from the storm. There's a lot to look at down there, even though we've had 3 years now to clean it up. It's still, there's a lot of stuff down there. Most of the boats and ships and all that have been removed, but there's still a lot to see down there, and we're going to go see all that on Saturday. That's going to be noon Saturday, so plan on that. And then Sunday, I'll probably do a Venice live drive, and then Sunday night, I'll be back on here for the sights and sounds. So that's pretty much where we're at, guys. So a pretty good broadcast agenda. Please turn the alarm bell on. The alarm bell on this channel will only go off if I am going live. Okay, that was the big change I made yesterday. All the other stuff's been moved to the other channel, Starship After Dark. Please leave a subscribe there and turn that notification bell off. Please. That one is going to go off all the time as I reset these streams. So you don't want that on, turn it off. The Starship Adventures, this channel, please go turn it on, because now it'll only go off when I'm going live on a live drive or on the Sights and Sounds of Earth live event, something like that. All right, there you go, guys. There's the whole thing. All right, and I got to tell you guys, I really do appreciate your time, and I appreciate you guys coming in for the show tonight. It's been a fun night. I got to tell you, there's a lot going on in my world right now, and you guys are a little bit therapeutic for me at night. It's nice to know I got friends in here, and it's and there you go. I will tell you guys that tomorrow, busy day, but I will be in tomorrow night, so we'll see you guys then. All right, that's about it. Live from Southwest Florida. From Starship Studios. My name's Ian, and this has been the Sights and Sounds of Earth for Tuesday, the 16th of September, 2025, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow night for another episode starting at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on Starship Adventures. This is Starship Studios. You guys have a good night out there. 7 threes, and have a safe tomorrow.